We're back in action, ladies and gentlemen. Jadu and Jonah here at the Banking Bros at the Cash Compound. We're going to talk about our big weekend coming up next. Jonah, we're back here in sunny Greenville, South Carolina, but that's not exactly where you were this past week because we had one of our annual big meetings. It's been a couple years off.
It has.
And now it's back in action.
It has. So this last weekend was the 2022 Money Multiplier Mastermind, where I had the privilege of actually speaking to the group along with many other awesome and great speakers. And this episode is a recap of the event for those of you who missed it. That way you can jot down in your memory to be there next time that we have an event. So for those of you who don't know, we are the Banking Bros, and we build banking policies through our agency, the Money Multiplier.
Yep.
We've been there since the Money Multiplier started in
Day one.
2017.
We helped them craft their entire marketing and branding package.
We did.
Actually.
We did. And
Yes.
I've been working hand in hand with Brent at the Money Multiplier and his daughter Hannah, his wife Terry, all the other agents that are contracted with the Money Multiplier that provide banking policies. So we just got done with our annual event. Now, of course, I say annual event when we haven't had an event for a few years.
It's been a couple tough years, folks, hasn't it not?
Because of COVID and travel restrictions and health and safety reasons. But we just got done with this event, and it was awesome. If you were not there, you've got to make sure that you're there next time. Let's walk through some of the things.
Now you weren't the only one speaking, so there's actually another guy who does a lot of work in the Money Multiplier world, Chris.
Chris Noggle, yep.
And we actually went to go see Chris the week before the travel restriction started in March 2020.
We talked about that actually. We went to Buffalo, New York, where Chris is from, sat down with him, had a very good meeting, talked about lots of things banking related, but that was March 20, was it February or March?
I think it was the first week of March.
First week of March.
Like March 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
so
March 2020. So this is literally
the week before.
The week before the world shut down last time we saw Chris.
Yeah.
So needless to say, we hadn't seen him since then. I hadn't seen him since then. And so we had lots of catching up to do.
Yep.
And of course, we wanted to make sure we brought the heat as far as topics and discussion points for all of the attendees of the event. So to my knowledge, there was about 190 attendees to the event.
Wow.
It was held in Daytona, Florida, and that is actually where the Money Multiplier office resides, and also where our general agent and founder, Brent Kessler, lives. So Thursday night, we actually had a reception at his home. He opened his home for everyone who wanted to come. I think there was a good amount of people there. I would suspect over 100, 150. Big amount of people there, and had food and drinks and all the sorts, and we got to mingle just a little bit. That was really fun. There was actually some representatives from some of our favorite insurance companies that we like to put our banking policies with that actually attended as well. So that was pretty cool to see representatives from the company. And one of my favorite parts is our founder, Brent Kessler, our general agent, is an airplane pilot. So he had two of his airplanes on display, and a select few number of folks, just really depending on availability, were able to go up in the airplanes and fly over Daytona Beach and New Smyrna Beach and fly out over the ocean. And
love to hear it.
Back to the airstrip and things like that. So that was really cool. Maybe I'll throw a video in the post-production here so you guys can kind of see what that looked like. That was really, really fun. Of course, the meat of the event was on Friday and Saturday, where we had discussion lecture style speakers and speaking events. And of course, we had lots of Q&As, kind of a roundtable discussion. We had people throwing questions out during sessions. If they were allowed during sessions, we had folks writing anonymously and throwing them in the box, and all sorts of really cool stuff was happening at the event. So, one of my favorite sessions at the event, for those of y'all who didn't make it, and just so you guys know, if you were not there and wanted to watch the event, we do have some, it was recorded by a professional videographer, and so there is a DVD style, downloadable style event recap that's actually coming out. It should be either the last week of May or first week of June.
All right.
That's coming out.
Looking forward to it, because I missed it, actually.
Yeah.
I was not there. Which brings me to our word of the week. We've got a kind of the word. We're bringing the word for the word of the week. Okay. So it's going to remind me and other folks who did not make it to be able to get around the campfire.
That's right.
So here it comes, everybody. Our quote of the week, word of the week. Proverbs 27:17, Jonah. We got a little Old Testament for you.
Okay.
All right. So we got to attribute it to somebody who wrote Proverbs.
Solomon.
Very nice, sir. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably going down in Daytona Beach this past weekend.
It sure was. It sure was. I was just going to bring up one of my absolute favorite sessions. On Friday, we had a gentleman named Jason Lowe. He actually practices infinite banking with his own agency in Canada.
Yes, right.
And
we've had one chat with him, and I loved him, but I haven't seen him in person.
Absolutely. He recommended a very good book called Who Not How that I actually listened to on my way down to Florida. Really good book. I don't know if you read it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, he was able to speak on Friday, and he talked about the power of family banking and how it can really change you and your family's lifestyle and income and wealth, just the way that you operate. And so he had slides and pictures and documents where he kind of went through, here's how my family does things using the family banking system. Here are the things we can accomplish. Here are the kids getting involved.
Oh, even the kids, huh?
Yeah. Here's the family, trip. Here's us celebrating the kids that you paid off loans and paid the loans back. And
really?
Got a new loan for the iPad and
really?
New loan for the first car.
Okay.
And it was
celebrating. Hold on. Tell me how you celebrate paying off a loan like that. Like, what do they do?
So they actually do like an annual trip. I think maybe they're doing 1 or 2 a year. I couldn't really tell from what he said.
Yeah.
But at the trip, they're having banking meetings at the trip. They actually got T-shirts and
they got these are white folks or black folks?
White folks.
Okay, yeah. with family T-shirts for the trip.
Looks like kind of family reunion style.
I didn't know that white folks did that.
Yeah, family annual banking meeting T-shirts, and they're having meetings during the day type idea.
So how many folks are in the family? Like, is this extended family?
It looks like a little bit of extended family.
Okay.
From the biggest picture that I remember him showing, it looked extended. So I would say there was 25 people in the main picture.
Okay.
Kind of that he showed. And they're all utilizing the family banks.
So you're saying that he was trying to demonstrate how this system of recapturing interest, uninterrupted compounding, whole life policies, how it's actually changing the entire network of his blood relatives.
That's exactly right. And he had
not just one little thing, not just little tax hack, not just a little trick, but it's changing everybody.
That's right. And he had the documentation, photos, documents to back up exactly what he was saying. It was an awesome set. It was probably the best, well put together, best information type session that I've seen in recent history about banking. It really, really was good. That was one of my favorite sessions from Friday, but of course there was lots of other sessions that were very, very helpful. We had Suleiman Hamani speak.
Yeah, I love Suleiman.
And he talks about the tax structure and how there's a different tax system that you could be involved in. That's awesome.
You've seen him present before. He brought a similar type feel for the tax structures around some trusts and foundations and things like that.
That's right. I've seen maybe once, twice, or 3 times actually.
Oh, okay.
Actually had the opportunity to speak with him even after the event, and since I've been home, about some banking related questions and things like that we had. We had lots of other things going on. We talked about using policies to accomplish individual goals a lot. So here's how you use a policy to accomplish debt payoff. Here's how you use a policy to accomplish private lending. Here's how you use a policy to accomplish whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. Here's how you can qualify for more private lending opportunity. Here's how you can get more money involved in your policy. We talked about so many things. It was really helpful.
Love it.
For a lot of people. I had the pleasure of speaking, like I mentioned before, and I actually brought some topics forth that we talked about with retirement and the passive. So actually, we should remove that word from our vocabulary.
Well, we don't use it that way a lot.
Passive income time is the way that Nelson puts it in his book. So I was able to bring that topic to the table. We talked about our tool creation. You guys know that one of our claims to fame is helping you get started with your policy, but helping you use it after you get started. That's one of our claims to fame. So brought a whole session on that and how that we work together in that aspect. And so for you, if you haven't started yet, we'd love to work together with you on getting your using your policy after you get your policy started. I had a session on employee benefits, which I actually just recently did again just a few hours ago for our agent training that we have every single month for those of you who are involved with the Money Multiplier organization. And man, it really was a jam-packed weekend.
I believe it. So how long were these sessions and how long was the day?
Yeah. So it started at 9 o'clock. It ended at about 5 or 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Lunch was included. Snacks were included. Dessert was included. Coffee was included type idea. And generally we did not do dinner altogether because it was more about mingling and networking afterward to talk about whatever you wanted to or whatever avenue made the most sense.
So here's another thing. There's a lot of people out there who are considering infinite banking, the infinite banking concept. They're also learning for the first time, but they don't know people who are doing it. So tell us about the customer, the client, the compadre that was there in the room. Who in the world is doing this? Who's doing it effective?
Sure.
What questions are they asking? Who are these people? Where do you find them?
So the client that was in the room really ranges all over the place. There was the first timer, right? My policy's in underwriting right now. I don't even have one yet.
Okay.
There was the person who just got started. I've had my policy less than 6 months, less than a year. There was the person who's had their policy for 5 years, but they only got 1 or 2. There was the experienced person who's holding 5, 6, 7 double-digit number of policies using the policy in every aspect of their life. Everyone was there because, like you said, iron sharpens iron. You've got to get around the campfire a little bit so you can learn what other people are doing and get some other ideas about the way that you can use this in your life to really maximize your family tree, maximize your wealth, your income. So there was actually everybody there. And of course, that means questions ranged all over the place. Right?
Yeah.
From the beginner question, the intermediate question, to the advanced question, we covered them all. So one of the things that I actually appreciated a lot about the event is we answered every question. So we had people writing in questions, putting them in the box. Every single question answered out of the box. We had hands raised during question and answer time. Every single question was actually answered from every single person in the room. And of course, there was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of us who were speakers who were up there round table answering the questions. So got lots of different perspectives about banking, lots of different uses, lots of, I use banking to do this. I also do that. I do not. I use banking to do this. I do banking this way. That's awesome. You can do it that way. I do banking this way. It was a lot of that too. So people could really understand that there's not a right answer. It's about doing
the infinite.
Yeah. It's
an infinite banking concept. It's about whatever your goals happen to be. Right. So my next question is what was a common theme between these people? Like the common theme you said to me on the phone when you were coming home was, man, there's a lot of people who maybe didn't realize they should have a family banking philosophy, maybe. So help me understand, unpack that for us.
Yeah. Common theme from the event per basically every speaker was we don't just have one policy that we sometimes use if it makes sense with bigger purchases. Not how we operate this system.
Okay.
We have a family of policies, more than one, multiple. The way that I said that when I was in front of the room was, what bank do you know that only has one branch?
Right. That's a good way to say it.
I don't know any. We have multiple branches of our family banks. We use the family banks for anything and everything we possibly can. So here's my question. A lot of these speakers coming from different walks of life, from real estate to folks who help people get started to people in the room even, is folks are conscious that they're getting policies on multiple family members. They're putting multiple policies on themselves, and they're trying to dump as much money inside this uninterrupted compounding machine. Would you say that's true? That is true.
Okay, right. And the reason I'm just recapping that is because I think a lot of folks, even like ourselves, didn't realize the power of compounding all of this money for your whole life and how much it changes over the course of how much it changes your wealth over the course of any amount of time. Right? Yeah,
absolutely.
So I have a feeling that you, me, and a lot of other people who spoke would be able to attest to that. Man, the opportunities aren't just like gaining steam in a linear fashion, they're actually exponentially going faster now because we have multiple dollars we're using multiple times, and it's only getting, the more money you make, the more money you make. So it's only getting better and faster for us. The rich are getting richer out here.
That's right.
Yeah.
So again, if you missed the event, make sure that you're following us on our platforms and subscribing to our newsletter or contact us, whatever it is, because the next time there is an event, we want you to be able to be there if you're interested. Again, the event that just passed, there will be a recording of this available in just a few weeks. We're going to make sure to post that on our site so you can access that if you're interested in watching. But we want you to be able to be there. So again, that's annually, every single year. It's our Money Multiplier, our general agency's event, Money Multiplier event. I suspect that we'll probably have the pleasure of speaking at a few more to come.
Agree. Yeah, of course.
And we want to see you there. It was absolutely awesome. If you are interested in becoming your own banker, learning and understanding at a deeper level, you've got to make it to this event.
Love it. Okay, let's move on to our fan follow of the week. Jonah, just the other night, I went live on TikTok. Okay. We got a couple of handles, as you know, at the Cash Compound and at the Banking Bros, and at LaShandra Bend. Okay. Not only was live on it, I believe, and asked a few questions. Cool. When I go live, for those of you who don't know, who are not actually catching us at those times, we're going to start to find some common threads of those times so you know when to find us. But a lot of people, I always tell people that if I'm helping you learn something, or if you have seen a TikTok of ours and learned it, or a reel off Instagram, right, or a YouTube short, then double tap on the screen, give us a like. But then if you don't understand something yet, ask the questions. Like you said, answering people's misheard and common questions is really helpful to smoothing out the playing surface so people really know what's happening, because we're hearing a lot about these types of things online. So not only did LaShandra say a few words, I believe, in those comments, but she ended up watching like 25 and liking 25 different TikToks afterwards. So I started to notice because I'm getting little pings and I'm seeing those notifications.
That definitely qualifies for a fan follow.
Yeah, so LaShandra, appreciate you.
Bend, right?
Yeah.
That's very cool. Thank you so much for your time, energy, and effort. Keep watching, keep listening. Reach out to us with those questions. We want to chat with you. That's really awesome.
And one more question of the week. Jonah, I'm going to pose it to you. Ready?
Okay.
Here we go. We've got at Taco Sandwich 1679.
It's a good name.
All right. And this person asks, if I set up a whole life, can I increase the amount of money I put into the investment side of the account at any time?
It's a good question. The simple answer to it is no, you can't. When you set up a whole life policy, the premiums are going to be level. The banking policy, of course, that's all we do here. Premiums are level. So if you start a policy at $25,000 a year, $25,000 a year is what you're putting in as the policy continues each year. So what can't happen is 2, 3, 5, 10 years down the road, you go, I love it. This is awesome. Time for me to do $50,000 a year inside this one policy. The answer is no, but that's what we were just speaking about with having a family of banking systems. It's just time for you to start a new policy on yourself, on a family member, on a business partner, whoever you have insurable interest on. But that's how you're going to build your family of banking policies, because the insurance company is just not going to let you increase the premium on the one policy you have. So good question, but we've got a solution for you. It's just new policies instead of increasing the one that you've got.
Indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this episode and the recap of what happened at the Money Multipliers event, which we have a privilege of being a part of their big team, as you can say. And some of you have read their book out there. Brent has got that book out. Chris, some of you have found us because we're mentioned in there at Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery. So yes, that's how our partnership works, a little bit like that. And we help them educate, get people started. And of course, Jonah leads the team of actually structuring how you can use it one-on-one, custom and complimentary after you begin. So if you'd like to do that and crack the code to cash flow, we suggest you call us, get on our calendar, and let's talk soon.